Meeting is now started. So let's have a flag salute, and Melissa will be leading us on the flag salute.
Please stand, face the flag, put your right hand over your heart, ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Melissa. All righty. So roll call, please.
Director Hustler,
Here.
Director Holt. Here. Director
Lang,
Here.
Director Huffer,
Yes.
Director Nichols.
Okay, we have some special presentations. I'm very excited about these because you all know I have, used a skip loader over at the teen center. So I'm pretty experienced as a heavy equipment operations. And of course, the teen summer musicals I'm personally interested in. That's actually where one of my daughters met her future husband, was at a teen summer musical. So I'm very excited to have these. So let's start presenting. Heavy equipment operations.
Evening, everybody. How are you? My name is Marc Gann. I am the equipment operator for the district. I have been doing this for the district since 1999. And what I have here is a little presentation of just a few of the projects and the jobs that I do on a regular or annual basis, and also some of the groups that I work with, internal and outside agencies, and just a few of the things that I do regularly: field refurbishments and special projects, weed abatement. Honestly, the list goes on and on. So this first video is with recreation. This is an archery range that I did the earthwork for at Conejo Community. Oh, I guess I can talk in here. Hi. This was very satisfying. I'm sure they use it regularly. And the next one, I imagine everybody is familiar with, especially this lady over here. It's Touch a Truck, where we bring tractors and trucks, and other agencies bring tons of items for the kids to have hands-on experience. And what I do there is, with the dump truck, the kids throw the beach balls in the dump truck and I dump them out. And as you'll hear, I would have never guessed in a million years how much fun they have, but you'll hear me in there too. Every time we do this, I must do it 50 times in a day. And I lose my voice by encouraging the kids, come on, let's go. Let's get those beach balls in the back of the truck. Sooner we do it, the sooner we get to do it again. And it is truly satisfying. In this next video, this is, I have the opportunity to work with Casca Park Rangers. Actually, I just did a job Monday, Tuesday out at Rancho Potrero, which I'm sure you'll see soon on the opening day. But this is Hill Canyon open space. This was a vehicle access road, which became too narrow due to erosion. So we came up with a plan to widen the road, and I rented a big monster of an excavator, and we opened it up about 15 feet wider. So now all vehicular traffic can drive on it, including fire trucks. This is me in my glory, just having fun. All that got compacted, and the road is just nice and wide, and it's still holding up. Our sister agency, the city of TO, this is Fireworks Hill. For maybe 15 years, I would go up there every year prior to the show and do the weed abatement, and also bring a couple truckloads of sand to put underneath their forms. They put in their PVC pipes, which they call mortars, and I would backfill them for stability. So as you can see, it is quite a big event. I imagine everybody has seen the show, and I've been, sorry about that, guys. I've been fortunate enough to be up on top a couple occasions, and it is just spectacular. So again, working with all agencies, this is Caltrans yard in Simi, Moore Park area, right off the 118 freeway. They donated us material on a number of occasions. This is asphalt grindings that I used at a couple of our parks the dog park and the horse arena before it got paved. And I would have a question for any of your board members that want to guess, how many yards or tons do you think that 10-wheel dump truck holds? Well, that's a good guess, but fortunately, I'm able to hold 8 because what
Wow.
each yard of material, each cubic yard is approximately, I thought you would get that, Nellie. It's approximately 1.5 tons. So in this dump truck, which is my biggest, we can carry 12 tons legal. So here we are at the ETI Corral number 37, our big equestrian facility right there next to the dog park on Las Flores. This is their show arena, and their tractor was down. So with Tom's approval, I went over there and I finish graded it prior to their big soiree. We got a little hiccup, boys and girls. I do actually. I filmed it and I'm like, oh man. Sorry guys for the technical delay here. Don't know if it's me. Is it me? Oh, we're up. Oh, all right, here we go. This is Conejo Creek North, the Master Garden plot. Back in 2011, I believe it was 2011, we broke ground there and I helped do the earthwork for, I want to say there's 5 or 6 or even 7 gardens of various countries of the world. So people can come there and experience what they have to offer there, and they're all drought tolerant. So a couple of gardens help the public learn how to be water wise. Field refurbishments. That is an ongoing project, but this is our professional ball field at Conejo Creek South. As you can see, those groove marks, that's my finish grading the day before the big game. So field refurbishments, again, we have 6 to 8 weeks from start to finish to start digging out the dirt, and by the time the kids get to play on it again. So this project was at Rancho Conejo. This is a little one, 10,000 square foot of removal. And to give an idea what it takes to do that, there's some of the iron it takes to accomplish this feat. Maybe it's me. Dos Vientos community. This was a 3-year project with over 80,000 square foot of removal. What we had to do there was convert the turf to a much more hardy Bermuda that holds up to heavy play. This is 1 cubic yard. It took me 2 minutes to move over to a stockpile, and there were 800 cubic yards there. So you get an idea just how much time that takes. And there's another gentleman getting ready to haul this stuff into the parking lot for our future export and refurbishment. Same ball field, finish graded, about 500 cubic yards of topsoil. This is a day before the new sod came in. I apologize. I'm clicking. Here we are with the brand new sod, pretty darn level with brand new radius lines around every ball field. The kids will be on that within 4 weeks, I'm sure. So something I like to take credit for, I implemented back in '99. I suggested to my supervisor at the time, let's start taking this old dirt somewhere and not haul it out. So this is the horse arena. So what we do is we bring in 100, 200 yards and I knock it down and compact it, and we create more usable space so they can add more corrals. So when I got here in '99, there were 4, there are 10 there now. So as you can see, this is kind of prior, this is before, maybe 500 cubic yards. And that's what it looks like afterwards. We got a big dozer and a sheep's foot, which is a big monster that I pull behind me and compact it. So now they can increase the width of this corral or add more. So as some of you might know, I'm a numbers guy, and around every year, I think we pull out about 1,000 cubic yards or 1,500 tons. Had we taken that to the dump, easy $60,000 just to dump. Now, mind that does not take into the cost of the fuel or the wear and tear. So over the course of 23 years, I'd like to think that I saved the district well over $1.38 million. Thank you. Went in a long time to tell you guys that. Thanks for the opportunity. There we go. So as I stated earlier, we recycle the materials. So all this old sod goes over and we stockpile it for 2 years and it ends up composting. Also the sand that we take out of the playgrounds that get refurbished. So on a semi-annual basis, I rent this big monster called a trommel or a dirt sifter. As you can see out of the back end, all the old rocks, the big rocks come out and all the fine topsoil, 1/4 inch or less comes out of this end. So all this soil gets used yearly. So of course, we don't have to go out and buy it. So as you see coming up, we also make a custom blend. And this is some beautiful garden soil that I made eventually. Come on, let's go. And this was, every crew member sought this out. And you'll see momentarily where that came from. One more time, numbers. If we were to buy all this material from the supplier, I estimate $33,000. Again, that does not count the cost of trucking, which is astronomical nowadays. So that trommel was not cheap to rent, but minus the cost of the trommel and the loader, there's a little profit of $24,000. As I said earlier, we do this on a semi-annual basis. One of my favorite projects is retaining walls. This is our trash enclosure retaining wall. I think this was the second one I put in. First one was at Conejo Creek North. Oh, real quick here. 3,500 pound blocks. As you can see, the crew member put the chain over and I pick it up. It just slides right into place and locks into the ear. And if anybody can read lips, what did I say? Perfect. I was real proud of that job. It's still there. So back to organization or lack thereof. This is how we used to keep our material. All right, yeah, no, this is a better way. Here it is. Another retaining wall material bin that I helped design and build. And so now all the crew members can come in and get sand or DG or you name it. They've got plenty of material there. And when that material exhausts, I either replenish it or order more. Much more organized here. So remember that beautiful black soil? That's where it came from. Conejo Creek North pond cleaning. We do that about every 2 or 3 years in celebration of Veterans Day. And what lives there? About 1,000 ducks. So all that stuff gets to sit and compost. And then when it's all dried out, I run it through the trommel with a mixture of sand and dirt. And it becomes that beautiful black garden hummus, whatever you want to call it, stuff that you saw earlier. A special project that I did with the park rangers because they're really good at rocks. This is called the Gratitude Circle. This was the site of Tex Ward's tree about in the middle there, and during heavy rains, it came down. So the park planners came up with this really cool design. And when we put it in, what it is for is in appreciation of all the members of the public who donate time and money to the Play Conejo effort. So when people do that, you see this is a finished product, they'll get their name on a plaque permanently up there. We appreciate all that. Weed abatement. Every year, especially this year, it rained good. So we have pretty tall weeds. So my job is to put an implement on the back of my tractor, which is called a flail mower, or I like to call it a hammer mower because it has 4-inch hammers on it. And this is 6 foot tall, probably over 6 feet tall, mustered at McCrae Ranch. So this is a before. When I run over it with a hammer mower, that's what it looks like after. So needless to say, the whole thing gets cleared like that and no fire danger anymore. Emergency response. As you know, we are a public agency, and unfortunately we had to come right down into our yard. So before the fire got there, I broke out the loader and I did a little fire break on the east side of the yard, and all the crew members got in there and they got the fire hoses out and they assisted the fire department with facilitating keeping that fire out of our yard. We like that yard. And Caltrans, again, donate us these things called K-rails, which I like to call portable retaining walls. Had to get a big machine because mine couldn't handle it. So we installed them at the Shumash Museum because after the fires, there was nothing, no vegetation to hold back the subsequent mud and flows. So we installed those so it would not cause damage to the museum. Again, unfortunately, at the same site, at the Shumash Center, we lost tons of trees, most of them oaks. So I rented a big machine to help facilitate removing those trees from the trails and the roads, but we left them on the side, so although it would become wildlife habitat. So all those things are still there and little critters are using them to make little houses and whatnot. Flooding, well, people say it doesn't rain in California, but as this young man over here sure knows, that's my support team over there. This is Conejo Creek North at the exit. Every year when it rains, that drain would clog up, and for the longest time, we could not figure out why it would clog up. So he went down and found the big 12-inch drain pipe, and well, this root was all the way up as far as it can go in the pipe. It was well over 30 feet. So we hooked up a chain to it, pulled it out. That root came out, all that water, boom, our drain is cleared. So again, I want to thank you, board members, for allowing me to give you an idea of just some of the things that I do and here with the district. And as you see, I like to cook. And if there are any questions, please feel free to ask.
That was very interesting. So I'm sure everybody has a comment. Director Lang.
Yes, thank you. I had a number of questions, but by the time your presentation ended,
Oh, I
answered
took too
most-
long. I'm so sorry.
you answered most of
Oh,
them.
good, good. Thank you.
Yes, and I was happy to hear the answers about using the recycled sod and other things that you remove and then it gets reused, and that's really great.
Thank you, thank you. That that's what we got to do to keep our planet going.
Yes, and also the opening part about the dump truck and those beach balls, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
I've been to a number of the events as the
Sure.
rest of the board members have, and that is truly, was that your idea to begin with? Yeah, I think so. There's Miss Idea of CRPD, one of many people with CRPD who comes up with great ideas. But I, like the rest, have been to those events and seeing the kids and how excited they are and so forth. I think it's great. I have an idea, but I won't share it here. I'll share it with the.
Find me on the park, maybe Monday, we'll talk about it.
But anyway, a great presentation. Did you do the video parts and all that?
All the filming is, every job I do, I love to film it, and then it goes on the cloud, so I've always got it. So I've got stuff from way back when. And I had the Robert Nunes, my supervisor, help me do the presentation. He didn't want to take credit, but I'm going to give him the credit. of putting it
Yes,
all
well,
together.
thank him too, and you for the part that you play, not only in the work and construction and with all the big projects that you undertake, but also the service to this park district. You know,
That means the world.
we've got many people, as you know, up and down the line that contribute something, and bringing all that together makes us what we are today. So thank you so much, and appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
God bless.
Okay, Director Huffer.
Yeah, I just want to add my thanks for the presentation. It's amazing to see some of that. You mentioned several times renting equipment. Is most of the equipment that you use rented, or some of, I know some of like tractor?
The bigger
and-
stuff was, yeah, but we have like skip loader, a couple little mini excavators, a bobcat, things like that, the dump truck, trying to get a bigger one, but anyway.
Yeah,
Throw that in.
Considering
but
all the
yeah,
money that
we
you
rent
saved
any-
along the way.
Okay, anything big, I'm able to rent it, and I know what I need for the job, being as I've been doing this actually since '84. So I had a few years' experience before I got to come out here and.
So with all those different equipment that you're operating, a lot of it rentals, does it take some initial training to figure out how to use the equipment, or have you done this long enough you know how to do every piece of heavy
It's funny
equipment in the
you would
world?
mention that, because some of the controls are backwards from what I'm used to. And actually, when I tested for this job, I was horrible, because I was used to Caterpillar and it was John Deere. I don't know why you guys hired me, but because I'm here. But anyway, it takes a bit. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get used to, but I've the opportunity to help train a lot of the crew members too, how to, anybody can kind of get in it and kind of move it. And like when I started in '84, I was a carpenter. I couldn't figure out how to get a full scoop for my life. But just time under the seat gets you more experience.
Okay, and you rarely, if ever, allow Tom to get behind any equipment, do you?
Well, I was gonna put a video on because I actually let him run an excavator and do a demo at Conejo Schoolyard when we demoed a small restroom building. But it was such an old camera I had and it really, really horrible. And like, I gotta give him a little bit of credit. He does run that manual bulldozer pretty darn good though. Very good. Very great.
Anyway, thank you.
My pleasure.
Director Holt, do you have any comments?
Well, I'm very impressed by the presentation. Since this is all new stuff to me, I can't make any more comments.
Okay.
But it's very impressive.
Well, thank you. And honestly, anytime you're around and you want to get on, I'll put you on it. Like I said, got to get on it to learn. Or we'll see each other at the golf course again. Of course, my pleasure.
Okay, and Director Nichols.
Madam Chair. Thanks, Mark. Great presentation. Rather than heavy prison operation, special ops force. It's across everything. And I appreciate how you integrate with so many different. Program. This kind of shows how the relationships and our district works. Foresight. You didn't mention about how many pieces of equipment have experience, but there are projects that say, hey, Mark, can you do this or can you do that? Matter of, again, give me this and this and this and this. And then how does that process work? Is to when is something you can do right now and something you can do with some equipment before you get a hire somebody?
Well, I mean, I've had so much experience doing subterraneans and just big jobs, and these are all kind of small, so they're pretty easy. We did do a job, like I mentioned earlier, at Rancho Potrero Open Space, and Andrew had said, well, if you want to have a contractor come out and do it, we'll do that. But I'm like, no, I got it. So it was basically 22 tons of boulders. I just kind of figured my tractor, the little mini excavator, and we placed all the boulders around the perimeter for strategic seating. So it's kind of just, you tell me what job you got, just like if I do a side job for you, and I'll tell you what tractor you need.
Okay.
So that's how we roll.
All right.
Just really quick, could you turn on your microphones? They can't hear anything online. Oh, interesting. They couldn't
me?
hear anybody. Maybe.
Might have been before you.
Okay. All right. The green light's on. You're talking about the different soils that you have and that you're pulling materials from the refurbishment. And then you also showed that little slide of the retaining wall where that appears to be materials that you purchase and then they just dump on site, but probably a mixture of things like that. Is with all this refurbishment and generating of soils, is that a balancing act? I mean, do you continually have materials coming and going, or you have to balance that? Or do you know that you need to have certain types of materials at certain times of the year? Or is this just kind of a case-by-case basis?
We try to have stuff on hand, like we got Conejo Creek South coming up, the refurb, and the crew leader asked, can we use all the sand we have stockpiled now? But time frame wise, we don't have enough time to rent the machine in this particular case. So like all the stuff you saw in the bins, some stuff we buy, like the DG, I don't generate.
Yeah.
But we're able to use everything that I've generated for either filling holes or trenches or backfilling main lines. So a lot of times all that stuff sits there till we need it. But as material is needed, I do crunch the numbers and help the crew leaders or anybody, the supervisors who need to know, and we order it appropriately.
Mm-hmm. And with that in mind, have you explored getting into the vermiculture business, or where you start mixing the organic materials with the worms and really get these nice rich soils?
Yeah, unfortunately, with the time frame allotted here, and then all the weeds, because we do get the weeds that come in with it, we leave that for the professionals over at Peach Hill or somewhere else.
Yeah, that's very labor intensive for things like that.
It is, and yeah, I mean, I would love to have a trommel. I would love to have the area where we could tumble our own material, even the green waste and stuff like that. But there's only so much we could do.
Sure. Last thing I want to know is, do you get paid for your job, or you just,
I just have
just
fun
have
here.
fun.
I mean, I can't believe I do get paid. To be honest with you, I've said that before, and yes, I do. And
Okay.
I enjoy every little bit I do.
But it seems like you really enjoy it and appreciate the presentation. Very informative. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Just kind of alluding expanding upon what Director Nichols was saying. Your guys are like seeing maybe 1/10 of what Marc does or less. And I mean, not just what he does. He's not an equipment operator. Then just to give Marc some more props, he's not, hey, Marc, go do this. It's Marc's got the smarts and the intelligence and the project management skills and the organizational skills. Half or more than half of the stuff he thinks of, it's his ideas and his brainchild. It's always kind of neat to go out with Marc and go, we got to do something here. And then he loves to go, and he figures it out and he draws it out and he does all sorts of different things. So he's incredibly talented, both physically and mentally for the job. And then the patience that he has, I mean, yeah, we were joking about me too, but the amount the way he teaches the other guys on how to use the equipment. And so right, he might say, I'm gonna need this, this, and this, but he might say, and I need 2 guys, and don't, give me this one and this one, not that one or whatever. And he organizes the team. So yes, he has a supervisor in Robert Nunes, but Marc runs the show and he's an extremely valuable member of the team. It's amazing the amount of stuff that he does and the advantages he brings to the district. So I just want to say that before Director Cusworth talked.
Thank you. I was highly impressed with your presentation, and being a first grade teacher and a grandmother of 2 3-year-old boys. You probably have a dream job of a lot of little boys growing up. That's kind of what they like to do. So I'm just curious, on a personal note, what brought you into being a heavy equipment operator? What field path made you decide? Or were you like a young kid watching, going to touch a truck and having all the little things in the sandbox and always wanting to be around big trucks?
Well, I out of high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Almost joined the Air Force. I actually worked for a stuntman for a little bit, building the airbags for him. And I also worked in construction. I was a gopher, go for this, go for that. And so I started banging nails, as I affectionately call it, in 78. And I lived in Topanga Canyon, where I met my wife. And every day I'd see my buddy drive down the road with a dump truck and a tractor. I'm like, man, that sure looks fun. So finally, he told his boss, and his boss was growing, their company was growing. And they took me sight unseen, said, oh, here you go. This is how you drive a tractor. And I couldn't get a bucket. My life depended on it. And that was back in 84. And I've been doing that ever since. And it's fun. I love moving dirt in the private sector. I demolished houses. I did subterraneans, all sorts of big things. But this is different because it's more personal. I get to see everything I've done. Kimber Park or the dog park, things that I will always be there that I had my hand in completing. So I love what I do.
How long have you been with CRPD?
23 years in July.
Okay. Oh, your enthusiasm for your work shines through. And I was thinking, you are doing things that you are for years being able to appreciate. A lot of times, you do things and then, that's kind of gone or something else replaces it. But I mean, this is a huge benefit, and so many things that I didn't know. I mean, I never thought they refurbished ball fields. I thought they just always looked like that. Or maybe people just took a rake, like when you go to Dodger Stadium, they go out with those things on the 7th inning or something. I thought, well, that's probably all they ever have to do, isn't it? So I was very impressed to learn about, how much work it goes in to maintain those things and your whole composting. So I'm assuming this was all your idea, correct? To do all of that. I mean, that was really genius and, very earth friendly and way to save money and just, fabulous ideas. So
Thank you.
I'm glad that even though you couldn't work our equipment, that CRPD did have the foresight to hire you. They picked the right man for the job,
I think
obviously.
so, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. So thank you
Of
very
course.
much. Oh, and I wanted to say one thing. I've been at McCrae Ranch when I've only been able to see the horses' heads over
Oh, yeah.
walking through. You see these horse heads kind of walking through all that mustard.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I have an appreciation that you can take it down like that because, yeah, that mustard can get up pretty high.
Yeah,
So,
It was scary a couple of years ago. It was over 8 feet tall. And it's kind of flat and I was nervous running through it because I didn't know what I was going to run into. I've done crazy jobs on hills and falling through buildings with tractors and I was nervous mowing down over 8 feet tall stuff. And of course, now I kind of know the terrain. It's like, it's nothing.
well, thank you. Thank you
course.
so much for, applying and sticking with us and bringing all of
Sure.
your
Oh,
expertise
you're
to
my
the
family
district.
too, and I'm going to be here till I'm not. Wife told me today, you keep working.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.